Hello and welcome back to the Irish Tennis Updates podcast. This is the second episode I've had with Mark Finnegan, where we go through updates on everything college and pro tennis for Ireland. It's been 2 weeks since our last episode and it's time to catch up on what's been going on since then. Here we go. So Mark, hi and welcome back again. I'm looking forward to hearing what's been going on the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, hi Adam, how's it going? Yeah, a lot of tennis has been played in the last 2 weeks, and I think we've the majority of Irish tennis players that have started their seasons. Still a few still waiting to get going, but for the majority. But we had a massive snowstorm there that went all the way through America last week, which actually caused a lot of cancellations and had nothing to do with COVID-19. So there was some cancellations, but majority of the people played.
Nice, good stuff. And just before we hop into the college stuff that you're going to run us through, just two updates that I'll give on other Irish tennis that has been going on. Firstly, Simon Carr, who was in action in a challenger event in Potchefstroom, South Africa last week. He in the first round of the qualifying, he beat the top seed in the draw, has an ATP ranking of 307. Won that match 6-4 in the third, and then in the next round, the final qualifying round, he narrowly missed out to another top 400 player to qualify for the main draw. But that's definitely a really good win for Simon last week, and promising signs for him. He was cramping a little bit towards the end of the match, which was tough for him in that second match, but a great 2 days of tennis for Simon Carr. So it's really good to see that. And then another player to mention is Carola Belginaru, who we would have mentioned a couple of weeks ago, who had, I think, played one event at that stage this year, and last week she was playing again in Tunisia. She had a really good week. She won 2 singles matches to get to the quarterfinal, and then went all the way to the doubles final as well. So a lot of tennis last week for Carola, and a lot of winning as well. So it was good to see her get deep in the week, and now this week she is currently in action in the qualifying draw for the singles, and she's won her first match already. So she's back in action, and it's good to see Carola having some good success in Tunisia. Yeah. And just before we do get into your college updates now, also Preston Connor and Beatrice Pertak have both been playing some futures qualifying as well. So it's good for both of those guys to get some pro experience as well. And now we can jump into your college updates. So on the updates on all of the Irish players who are playing in college. And as you said, there's been some delays with weather, but I know there's been a lot of tennis played, so it'll be good to hear what's been going on. So I guess firstly, just we'll touch on the females in the West. Firstly, I know I remember you mentioning there's a bunch of girls in the West of the country playing. So do you have some updates on those players?
Yeah. And look, again, there's actually been quite a lot of tennis played out West. They avoided all that snow and that craziness that went on through Texas and through the Midwest. But we'll go through the Twins again. Their team's still they're at a 4-2 team record at the moment. And both girls have kind of solidified themselves at 4 and 6 in the lineup. Saul playing at 4, Lola playing at 6, and I know they won a double header at the weekend against the same team. They played twice in one day, and they've been, I think, a pretty good record in doubles too. They've been playing mostly at 3 doubles. Zara Ryan seems to have solidified her position at number 2 in the lineup. The team's 1 at 4 record, so the team's been struggling a little bit. They're just coming off beating though a Northern Arizona team where Zara won at number 2 position. So she's been having a good bit of success. I know she had a little bit of a rough start to the year, but it's good to see her kind of getting on a roll here. Then Shauna Heffernan, they had a tough loss there on Saturday. I actually watched the live stream of that one against Utah, which a couple of the other girls' teams have played against Utah. Boise won the doubles point, but then weren't able to take the overall singles match. Shauna's playing actually a little bit of 4 position at the moment, number 1 at doubles. And I know she won on Saturday at doubles, but then they came back and beat Dixie State the following day. So Sophia Dervin seems to be doing very, very well. Her overall record as an individual is very impressive. Her team's a 5-2 record. They're coming off wins against BYU and Wyoming, but had a really narrow, tough loss to Denver. But I think she's 6-1 overall in her singles record at the number 2 singles position, which is very, very impressive. And then Shauna Casey has been very unfortunate. She's had a ton of 10-point breakers. So a lot of the time what happens if the match is decided and one team's got the 4 points, the teams will end up, if it's in a third set, and it hasn't started yet, they'll play a 10-point tiebreaker for the third set. So Sean, I think, has played 3 or 4 of these 10-point tiebreakers. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're in those 10-point breakers and the match is decided, sometimes it can be a little bit just of a bit of a coin flip. So she's unfortunate not to get over there, but she's been playing 5 singles and mostly all around 1, 2, and 3 doubles. Actually, she's been in and out of the position. Cara Courtney has been battling through, like we talked about, some tough injuries. I know actually at some stage she's been serving underarm, which fair play to her. She's a heck of a competitor, and she's actually been playing at number 6 singles, and I think she's actually been winning her matches at 6, which is incredible for her. So keep the good work, Cara.
I might just ask, you mentioned the live stream that you're watching of some of those matches. Would you have a little detail of how to get that if people were trying to watch some of the live tennis?
Yeah. Look, so what you want to do as well, if you're really not knowing exactly how to get there, you can literally put in Google, put the name of the university, and put live stream or live stats, and usually it'll pop up. There's also a few people on Twitter that put up live stats. Also on wearecollegetennis.com, you can sometimes click a link that'll give you the live all the universities that have live stats or live video. But the best usual way is just to go to the university's website, go to the tennis programs part of it, and then typically under the schedule, you'll find the link towards the video or the stats. So there's a lot of live tennis actually out there, and even PlaySite have done a really good job. So a lot of these, they're powered by PlaySite, and so the PlaySite will actually give you stats on the match as the match is going along, and they'll tell you how many break points there's been or how many deuce point which player has won and lost. So it is actually can be quite entertaining sometimes just being able to watch a match.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. And I guess it'd be good for people to get to watch a little bit of tennis as well.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great for them to be able to actually understand the level. Like I think, but also as well as sometimes when you watch even professional tennis on television, you sometimes don't think they're hitting the ball that hard, and then you go see them live, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're hitting the ball incredibly hard. So sometimes you can watch it and you'll be like, oh, they're not that good, but in essence, like I'm telling you, these college tennis players can play tennis.
I guess if you want to move on to the south for the girls as well.
Yeah, so starting the south, so Georgia is Jummy Duke. Her team is 6-1 right now at the moment. She's played a little bit some of the matches at number 1 this in the last 2 weeks. Recently they've had victories over VCU, App State, where Alwyn Ryan Bovey will be going, and Virginia Tech, which is in their same conference as them. Jessica Lehman's actually been going on a nice little run at the moment. She's won 3 out of her 4 last matches, so she's trying to start to pick up a little bit more form. Team's still struggling at 1-5 for Presbyterian, but she herself has had a lot more success at number 4 position. And then Ali O'D is kind of starting to solidify herself a little bit more there at the number 3 doubles position. She did play her last match and won at 6 against Campbell, the number 6 position. So that's great to see Ali making a little more inroads in the singles lineup. And that's pretty much it for the south there.
You mentioned Alwyn there, and I saw just during the week that she'd signed for the university. So it's great to see a lot more people coming in for next year as well. So to keep it going.
Yeah. Look, and the big thing is, is the fit. I think they've got a new coach in there now at the moment. The coach actually won a national championship as a player at Vanderbilt, and it's a really good fit for Alwyn's personality. And so that's going to be nice to see Alwyn in there, and hopefully that program will grow nicely. App's a solid Division 1 university. They're kind of famous for their overachieving football teams, and they're very passionate at App State. I think anyone who lives in that area absolutely loves it. So excited for Alwyn for that opportunity.
Yeah. And then just to move on to the rest of the Division 1 players in the Northeast and the Midwest, I know there's a good bit of action going on there as well.
Yeah, and we'll start with no action here. So Emily's O'Donovan's first match for Seton Hall, I believe that got cancelled, and so she's going to have to wait, I think, another week before she gets to play her first college match. So hopefully that'll happen soon for her. I think Ellie Murphy's team, as we talked about, they're having a fantastic season. They were undefeated, but actually had their first loss there to Missouri. Ellie's actually played a little bit of 3 doubles now, so she's, I think, hopefully going to get a little bit luck maybe into the singles lineup here, if she, maybe in the next couple of weeks, hopefully for her. But certainly she's becoming a little bit more involved in the doubles lineup. And then Kira O'Toole still hasn't played a match. As you can tell, these Northeastern schools, they just haven't really played as much tennis as the rest of America. So she's still waiting to play her first match for her new university, Sacred Heart. Julie Burns' team is another team that's on fire. They're 7-1 right now. They just had 3 wins in their conference this last 2 weeks, and so she's in one of the best conferences in the country called the Big Ten, and she's been playing mostly again at number 2 position, and she's had a few matches against ranked college tennis players this week. I think she went 1-1 against ranked players, so that'll help her individual ranking. So yeah, and then we got Jenny Timmonton, who's still, haven't seen her in the lineup yet, from Michigan State, so let's hope that she's working through that, and she can get into the lineup there towards the middle part of the season. Lucy Octave, we saw her in the lineup a little bit and has been back out of the lineup again. I'm not sure what's going on there. Her team is 5-1. They're having a good season at Xavier, but she's 0-2 in singles right now at the moment. So not too sure. I don't know Lucy that well, but hopefully everything's okay with her. And then Laura Fitzgerald, she's been on a nice little run too as well. Her team has done a lot better since we last talked. Illinois State are now 6-4. I think they've just won their last 4 matches against Eastern Illinois, Dayton, DePaul, and Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. So they've gotten some nice momentum going. And then again, we talked a little bit about Olivia Moriarty, the Ivy Leagues. They're not playing this year, so she won't be playing at all for the rest of the time. And right now, at the moment, that's it for Division 1 girls. What about Division 2 and NAI girls? Would you like me to chat a little bit about them?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, well, and actually, we did make a small error 2 weeks ago. The 2 twins from Tusculum, Annie and Caitlin. It was actually Annie that was NCAA Woman of the Year, that she was up for that nomination. So sorry, Annie, but also both girls were actually All-Americans. And that team is, we talked about last time, is ranked top 25. They're 2-2 on the season. Annie's been playing number 1 singles, and Caitlin's been playing number 3 singles. Annie's undefeated right now at the moment. They both play number 1 doubles. The record is 2-2. They've had, I think, one really tough, close loss to North Georgia that looked like a nail biter, and with a lot of close matches. Ema Mars is doing really well there at Barton College. She plays number 2 singles for them. They just won their first match of the year, 4-3 over Francis Marion. And Ema's playing at number 2 singles. And we talked about Emily Conley last week. Emily Conley's team did not play. Those matches were postponed this week due to COVID. So they're waiting to go, I believe on spring break here in the next couple of days, where they're going to be playing a ton of matches. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the D2 and NAIA.
Good stuff. And obviously, as we've been saying, there is so much tennis going on, which is great for everyone who's gotten to play. Then it is on the flip side. It's unfortunate for the people you've mentioned that haven't got to play. Their seasons haven't started yet, or even some of them, aren't going to start. So it's a pity for those players that aren't getting the opportunity that they would in other years.
I think this year, from talking to most of the college coaches, if they got 50% of their season in that they typically would have been, they said they would have been happy. I think they're all just, after last year, 2020, with the season being cancelled, they're just all excited to at least have the opportunity, at least try to attempt to do this. And it's been very challenging. And like I said, every state operates differently. So, for example, like Texas has been very open, and Florida, and there's been very little restrictions when it comes to outdoor sporting activities, whereas other states like New York, where the weather's still not phenomenal right now at the moment, and it's more indoor tennis, they've been a little bit more hesitant to start their seasons and wait till make sure that the virus is a little bit more under control.
Yeah, and to move on to the males, and firstly, some of the coaches we have. How have those coaches' teams been doing the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so, well, not too much activity, but the one good thing was congratulations to Derek Glavin. Glavin got his first win as an assistant coach for Miami, over actually Auburn. So, but they also had 2 other big wins then during the week against in their conference versus Clemson and Georgia Tech. So that was great to see. And I think we'll talk a little bit about Peter with Montana when it comes to Usheen, and then Peter Wright from Cal. They haven't really played that much either too as well. Their record is 2-1 right now at the moment.
Yeah, and to move on to then the players who the male players who were over there, how has the last couple of weeks been for those guys?
Yeah, so a lot of them actually got their first matches in. So we've got Thomas Brennan, who the last time we had said was still waiting to play his first match. His team's 1-3. He's been playing mostly at number 1 singles. He's won a few, lost a few. Number 1, certainly been competitive. I know he lost a really tight one against SMU's number 1, 6-4 in the third. So it's great to see him playing at the top of the lineup. And then we have Usheen Shafri from Montana, again another guy at the top of the lineup for his team. I think he actually played his last 2 matches at number 1, and was, I think, victorious in those. I think his overall record is about 3-3. His team's at 3-4 right now at the moment. So it's great to see him being able to get all the way to the top of the lineup. I know he started at 4, 5, and 6 for them his freshman year. Sean Keane continues to impress. His record as an individual is 3-1 in singles. Team's actually 1-3, so he's been playing mostly at 4. They've played a couple of strong teams, including Division 1 College of Charleston. So it's been good to see. Matthew Saunders doesn't seem like he played his last couple of matches. He's 0-2 still at the number 4 singles position. His team's 2-2, so I'm not sure why he didn't play those last 2 matches. Mark Griffin The record of the team is 7-5. They actually played their last match with only 4 players in the lineup, which probably tells me there was something to do with maybe something to do with COVID and the players not being active and stuff like that. So it's pretty hard to win a college tennis match when you start off with 4 players. But obviously, I'm not sure what went on there, but I don't think Mark played in that match either, so hope everything's okay with him. Keane McDonald has impressed a lot since he's been there. His team is 6-2 at University of North Dakota. He's 6-2 in singles, primarily at the number 3 position. I think he won all 3 matches at the weekend, so it's great to see University of North Dakota off to a great start to the year. Moritz Stenzer, Rollins Collins, they still haven't played yet. They don't start till the very early March, which is kind of funny because they're in a state called Florida, which obviously is there's a lot of tennis going on at the moment. So not sure why the late start is for them, but they're going to play a lot of matches in March and April. Great to see Cathal Butler. I was speaking to him during the week, and he started to play a lot more in number 6 in the lineup. I know he got his first college win in singles and in doubles, which was great for him. He's also played a lot of tough, tight matches. His team's 1-5 right now at the moment, so they're struggling a little bit, but I know they played a tough schedule. I don't see anything for Christian Duffy at Stonehill College yet. They don't seem to have anything updated on their website, so I don't think they've definitely started their season yet. And we've Dovey. Dovey's off to a good start with Limestone. I actually saw it was pretty cool. I think he's played a doubles match with his brother. I've never met his brother, but Dobby's been playing, I think, a little bit of three singles, and I think his brother's been playing a little bit of 1 singles. So their team is 2-0 on the season. Really an impressive one here for you. Result here is Fergus O'Rourke. So Fergus transferred from Lander, which is a Division 2 school, to Spring Hill College. And Fergus actually played his first match of the year against Jacksonville State University, which is in Alabama, as a Division 1 university. And Fergus actually took his match and won it at number 2 singles. So that was an impressive result for Fergus. It was nice to see that. I know he's been working really hard in his game. Morgan Lowen, interesting one here too as well, Adam. So the Morgan Lowen's team for Iowa, basically, their program is getting cut at the end of the year. And their program was cut with a little bit of controversy during the very start of the pandemic. And their team decided that they were all going to wear red shirts. And if anyone knows Iowa's colors are a bright yellow, a luminous yellow, and black. So for their match this weekend, they actually wore red shirts, all of them, basically to kind of make a statement of why their program should not have been cut. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. But his team, they've been off to a pretty good start, and they've won a lot of tennis matches so far, but no sign of Morgan in the lineup as of now. And Philip Lynch hasn't played yet. Sacred Heart, again, the same place as Ciara O'Toole. Nothing to report on them yet. Neil O'Connor is off to a decent start. He's been playing a little bit at 6 singles. His record of his team is, I believe, 1-1. He had a massive win over there, Kennesaw State 4-3, which came down right to the wire. Neil's been playing, I think, 5-6 for Coastal Carolina. Don't see Charlie Barry still being able to crack the lineup at Tulane. Tulane have had a couple of impressive wins, and they've been doing very well this year. They seem like a very strong team. And then someone we left out, I think, last week was Jonathan Garcia, which they haven't played yet any matches for Merrimack. Merrimack is a brand new Division 1 program. It used to be a Division 2 school, but don't see any results for him yet at the moment. So I think that's about everybody there, Adam. Again, if I've left somebody out or I'm missing something there, just always get in touch with us, and we'll make sure we include you on the report.
Yeah, great stuff.
Again, I think I said it last week. I think hopefully we can get more and more players in the D2 setup. You can see a lot of majority of our players, especially on the female side, in the Division 1 setup. I think the biggest misconception is people think Division 2 and Division 1 is Premiership and the Championship. Certainly, there's a lot of the strongest Division 1 universities out there, but there's a lot of great Division 2 universities out there that actually can be sometimes stronger than Division 1 universities, especially sometimes in the Sunshine States. So I think if we can continue to grow the amount of players that we have in college tennis, hopefully it might take us a little bit longer to go through them in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good one to keep in mind. Well, so I guess we will leave it there then, Mark. I appreciate coming on and getting the updates, and look forward to doing it again and catching up on all the progress in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks, Adam. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark. And just before we leave you with this week's episode, here is a quick update on Anna Botel, another player who's been in progress recently.
Yeah, Anna Botel is playing at Rice, and so far this season she's been playing predominantly at the number 4 position. And the team's had a pretty good success. They're 4-2. Only losses have come to Baylor and LSU, and they've had just recently a really good win over Texas Tech 4-3. So yeah, she's solidified herself nicely in the lineup there at number 4.
with that, a big thanks again to Mark for sharing the updates, and thank you for listening to this episode. Do tune in again in 2 weeks' time for more updates. Bye.